All right. Welcome to our season finale of Access Fallout. I'm Brandon, the creator of Access, and here helping me are Cam, Pete, and Mac, who are on production as well. And tonight, we are going to bring Access Fallout to a close. Thank you all for the delay. One of our casts had a personal emergency, so the 30-minute delay was very helpful. First, we'll allow, so tonight, how this is going to work. First, we're going to allow any last questions from the jury, and then the final two will give their last pitches as to why they should win and represent this season. After that, we will invite all of the cast that is available to join us in a reunion to discuss everything that went down this season. Not to mention, we will find out who wins this season of Access Fallout and the $50 prize pot that goes with it. But before we get into tonight's episode, let me quickly catch you up on what has happened this season. Our season started with three teams, green, blue, and pink. And while they were in the team phase, each team lost two members each. One that was considered less helpful in the challenges or more inactive. The other person maybe more on the side of too active or a threat that needed to be taken out. Which then led to our first key ceremony, which came as a shock to our cast, and Rich was taken out. However, he won his way back into the game immediately and continued on in the game. Our final 12 fought it out then in the individual phase, and it started with betrayal as Abby and Patty make a big move, taking Cake out. After that, Rich wins the challenge and tried to take a shot at Hendy and Jason, but misses and ends up taking out Ben. After that, the majority of the pink and green team members come together to form the Wicked Alliance, which consisted of Rich, Abby, Patty, Lulu, and Doug. Together, they take out Zizi and sway Aiden when he wins a challenge to take out his number one ally in Hendy. At the final 8, though, Abby tries to make a move to take out Rich, and while she succeeds in getting the power to take him out, in a moment of weakness, she saves him, leading to the remaining blue team members being eliminated. This left the green team members, aka the non-toxic alliance of Rich, Doug, and Lulu, versus the pink team members, aka Patty's Angels alliance, consisting of Patty, Abby, and Aiden to fight it out. And Rich manages to get the upper hand in the challenge for his green team alliance and is able to help them to make it to the final 3. Once there, Rich and Lulu are the ones with the final 2 passes, meaning Doug is taken out in third, leaving us with our final 2. Both have played great games and in their own right are deserving of the win. But it's not my opinion that matters, it's the jury. Tyler, Ben, Jason, Abby, Aiden, Patty, and Doug, these 7 will decide who wins this season and the $50 prize that goes with it. With that, jury, are there any final questions that you have? You can each ask one question each. Jason, why don't we start with you?
Yeah. All right. So my question is for both of you. In both of your statements, you made an accurate observation that I really didn't talk game strategy with either of you. Now, that was intentional on my part, not trying to seem too strategic and waiting for probably both of you to initiate some of that. I did different things with other people, also getting a sense from other people that both of you were pretty in strong alliances and really just wanted to talk game when game mattered and was just trying to build a social relationship. My question to you is, I strategically didn't talk any game, but why did neither of you even attempt to talk game with me? So you all blamed me for not talking game, but neither of you made one attempt to even talk game when we were in shreds or we were trying to be eliminated. So what's your reasoning for that?
Rich, you want to go first?
Okay, so that's a very good question. I actually had a whole like kind of side note that I was going to send out to you, Jason, personally to explain certain things because I thought the speech would have been too long. But So just to kind of keep it like more control, like me personally, I a little bit introvert. There was 18 cast members, and to try to talk to everyone and kind of build a rapport for me was a little bit hard. That's actually probably my biggest weakness. So already forming bonds with my team members or cast members because they were the closest to me. Um, I kind of played that route. By the time it kind of came around to maybe talk to you, and I think we had talked at that during one of the elimination ceremonies. It was like, oh well, is he talking to me because we're trying to communicate, or is it because there are different things going on? So that is at least on my side. I do acknowledge that me not reaching out to you and others is one of my downsides. I always felt though you particularly, I think you and Hendy kind of dominated the blue teams, and you guys were really great strategically and winning challenges and so on and so forth. I always viewed you then as a real threat to what I was trying to do because of that. It wasn't. It's just the way things turned out. But it wasn't anything like, oh, purposefully. It was just the way things turned out.
Okay. With that, Lulu, what's your answer?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm just really awkward. I had a lot of trouble talking game with a decent amount of people, and ultimately, I mean, this is the best way, but I feel like you and Hendy and Tyler in specific kind of just fell in the back burner, as I feel like there were a lot more. I mean, I was pretty solidified in the people that I trusted and the people that I really communicated with, that in the end, it didn't matter as much to include the rest of everybody else in what was going on, specifically when trying to get out. Like, blue team, you guys were, I mean, once, I mean, sorry, I'm stuttering my words, but like Patty, Rich, Abby, and then Aiden were all just like this big group that just kind of felt difficult. And then obviously, like, I was pretty close with Rich, and obviously I was really close with Doug, that the core group kind of just became that. And then I mean, it was just kind of easy to, well, not easy, but I feel like then the main objective was to pick everybody else off first, which at that point, then I was so solidified in who I was talking to anyways, that, I mean, I just didn't make that big of an effort when I knew that eventually I would have to vote you guys off anyways. I'm sorry if that didn't make any sense.
All right. Thank you, Jason, for that question and those answers. Tyler, are you able to ask the next question?
Yeah, can you hear me, Brandon?
Yes.
All right. What's the one play, strategy, move that you would do differently?
Good question. Lulu, let's start with you.
Honestly, I really wish that I talked to you, blue team, a lot more. Especially you, Tyler. I mean, I think we talked maybe twice, and it kind of sucks that we didn't really talk. I would have liked to know a little bit more where your head was at, or maybe your perspective on the game so far. I feel like by not talking to more people, it's kind of a disservice to the players in the game. And I mean, I definitely regret that. Obviously, I'm in the final two. I've clearly done something right, but I don't know. I do regret not talking to you guys more, and I do apologize.
Okay, Rich, and keep it short.
All right. So, I've been reflecting a lot about on my game recently, and in terms of things that I would do differently, I really, and it's in my speech, don't think I would change any decisions that I've made. That being said, I really thought, with Tyler particularly, like, had you kept on playing, and I know I didn't reach out and so on and so forth, but we could have found a way to like probably play some games together, because I kind of, I know you, and did not know you won that you won one of the access games, but I felt like, well, I already know Tyler, so he's not priority, maybe let me try to work on people that I don't know first and see how that goes. But that is a regret. I will say that as well.
All right. With that, Abby, you're up next to ask your question.
Mm. I had a question and now I can't remember what it was. Mm. Lulu, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue. It's been blue since I was a kid. As a young adult, I tried to change it to purple because I feel like everybody's favorite color is blue. But ultimately, I think blue is the best color.
Oh my god. It's just like my path in life. Rich, what's your favorite color?
Her one. I have lots of blue is definitely one, but I like red, I like black, obviously, and I like white. Again, obviously. So I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of favorite colors.
So
That's a hard.
indecisive runs in your game and in your life?
I mean, I don't like green that much.
Thank you. No more questions.
Okay.
All right. Patty, I believe you're up next with your question.
Okay, Lulu, here's a question. What was your favorite challenge of the game?
Certainly not the cup stacking one with the balloons. I sucked at that. Honestly, I really liked the memory one where you had to like remember where everything was. It kind of sucked because the first time we saw the image, my notes were absolutely abysmal. I didn't really pay attention to what I needed to pay attention to. But ultimately, I think it's really fun to work together to remember what each person kind of remembered from all of that and figure it out from there. So that was easily my favorite challenge of this whole game.
Rusty. That's it.
Okay. No question for Rich then, I guess. That's fine. All right. I think that is everyone. As Doug and Aiden aren't gonna be able to make it, and Ben is MIA at the moment. So, with that, Lulu and Rich, you'll have one last chance to plead your case to the jury. Lulu, why don't you go first?
Cool. First of all, I just want to thank everybody and thank production. This has been so much fun. I play orgs on and off sporadically. This is the first one I played in maybe 2 years, I think. And it's easily been the most fun I've had doing these. So thank you so much. Honestly, I think I should win because I think for the most part, I stayed true to my word to everyone. I tried not to rock the boat too much. And if I did, I mean, I don't know. I stayed true to the people that I promised I'd stay true to. There were a few times where I promised people that I would give him a card, and if I didn't end up giving him a card, I'd at least save him if I got extras. And I think I was pretty decent in the competitions. And also, I've never played this before. Like, I mean, Rich, I love you. Thank you so much. I could not have made it this far without you. But you have family members in this game, and you've played this before. That is a huge advantage. And I think it's pretty impressive that I haven't played this before. I don't know anybody on the cast, and I was able to make it to the final two. And I don't know. I hope it counts for something. If you guys vote me, that's awesome. If not, kind of a bummer, but I had a lot of fun, and I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart because this has just been an incredible experience.
All right, Rich, your final plea.
All right, I do have a final plea. It's a whole speech, so bear with me. But especially since some jury members aren't around, I just wanted to make it really clear my process of the game and how everything went down. Okay, so I want to say to start off, it was very obvious who were the. Oh my God, Abby, you can't do this. Let me see. No, see,
Let him give his speech. Let him give his speech.
Okay. So All right, I want to speak to the heart and be very truthful for even if it's just the viewers. But when we started the game early on, it was kind of obvious who were the power bunch. So me, Abby, Patty, and Cake were in an alliance. We're all veteran players. Um, Abby probably had a really good shot, was probably the early favorite to win this season, being that she's related to us and some people would have tried to like kind of really protect her and so on and so forth. My whole goal this season was just to prove that I can play with the best of them, and my game was just as good because apparently 2 seasons ago when I made it to the final two, apparently I was riding coattails. So that's fine. Um, by kind of happenstance, me, Doug, and Lulu created an alliance, which I think is kind of funny because we actually just started that just to circumvent Dylan and sabotaging us. But through that alliance, we really kind of bonded with each other and trusted each other. And I think, particularly after the round where we were kind of doing an elimination, where we really bonded and um, I kind of had to admit to Lulu and Doug that I was married to Abby, and Patty was my mother-in-law, and I and trusted them. But I was also rooting for them because my whole game style, particularly the last 2 seasons, is being the underdog, and I knew that Patty, Abby, like that whole they were really strong, and I was like, we know maybe we can do something, do something too, and I think that's how my game plan and how my heart kind of went. So, that being said, once me, Doug, and Lulu formed the alliance, the main goal was combining both alliances, meaning I was already with one with Patty and Abby. And if we can combine both, we have five, we can kind of control a lot of the votes and kind of dominate the game, which is kind of what happened. Um, Aside, this is the whole thing with Jason. I just want to give a quick aside. Um, I always viewed the blue team as a threat to the Power Five because they play so well and they're very unified. I think the advantage we ended up getting was in that round where we made a deal with the blue team to shred whoever they wanted in return for just giving us a power. It was originally decided that Elijah would have been the person and Tyler who would have been shredded, therefore giving Elijah the envelope. Later on, Handy changed his mind and made it and told the green team to shred Handy and Jason, leaving Elijah and Handy out. Elijah confronted me about this afterwards, and when I told them what happened and told them, well, they wanted it this way, I felt that Elijah and ZZ, knowing that they kind of like got backslided, it kind of separated them. So that trust was no longer there. And I'm like, okay, so blue team is no longer a big threat because there's no longer the five of them. It's going to be Handy and Jason with Elijah and ZZ. So that was a big thing. Playing this game, again, there are two questionable decisions that I thought that I did, and I'm going to go through them one by one. So the first main one, when Kate got eliminated, she gave me an envelope which contained 2 keys, her final pass, and Doug had given me the shred power. So the first main thing was, do I keep the keys and everything a secret to myself, or do I share that? And I've talked this with production before. My main strategy, the way I play these games, is I don't like being in the forefront. I kind of like being in the back, not being a target and kind of moving pieces as they are. Therefore, it made a lot of sense to give the key to Patty to gain her trust because she already knew that I gave an envelope to Lulu, and that was kind of the forefront. But by giving a key to Patty, it also allowed her to play the way she wants to play in Abby, being that we can stack on her. Patty can then have Abby and whoever else be kind of like if they're at risk, protect them, and as well as protecting Patty from burns. So the one decisions that I thought I did well was giving Patty the key as opposed to like holding on to that, because I think it allowed her to play her game, which she's an excellent player, same as Abby, and I can just still stay in the background. And it, as players were getting eliminated, it was being very clear that Patty and Abby were in control of the game, which I liked because, again, not being a target. The second questionable decision was, as we're the Power Five and we're going through these challenges.
Yeah, one more minute.
In round, again, I'll finish up. It came a point in round 10 where we weren't aligned in how we were going to vote. So I had to make a decision. I knew Lulu and Doug weren't really at risk at being shredded, and it was more Patty and Abby. So then we just had to make a decision. And I really wanted the five to stay together because I needed that to continue. I voted with Patty and Abby. That was the plan, but the question was, why not vote with Lulu and Doug? And the reason why is when we made the Power Five, the leverage I had was that me, Doug, and Lulu were really close. So even though Abby can say that she could have shredded me, I know that I had that leverage, and had she shredded me, Doug and Lulu would probably disband, and it would be like, is she better off with keeping the Power Five or trusting Jason? So that was another thing that I thought was like, I put myself at risk, but it was a calculated risk, knowing that if she had shredded me, she would have lose Doug and Lulu. And the last thing, the reason why I won the game, I thought when we were 3-3, winning that challenge 11, the ball. If it's 3-2, we have the numbers, and then we could kind of like roll through. And that is basically a whole pitch on my game plan on how things went through. Sorry, it's kind of long. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, thank you both to Lulu and Rich, and to our jury. At this point, jury, please submit in your confessional chats who you want to win this season of Access Fallout. And while we're tallying those votes, I'm just going to play some music in the background. Not party music. This is the season theme music. All right. I believe we have our votes in. All right. One at a time, I'm going to ask each player to reveal who they voted to win. And you just need 4 votes out of 7 in order to win this season of Access. First up, since he's not here, Doug voted for Lulu to win this season of Access. Next, we have Aiden. Aiden pretty much already said in the public chat he is voting for Lulu to also win this season of Access. Next, let's have Jason go. Jason, if you could reveal who you voted to win this season of Access and why.
Yep, my vote went to Lulu. She made an effort to actually talk with me. Every time I talked to Rich, I had to initiate the conversations. You never once actually reached out to me. So given that both of you were anti-blue, I mean, basically that ended up being the decided factor for me. And it's interesting enough that you definitely had the dynamic of blue incorrect. So I just want to point that out there that what you thought was going on wasn't actually going on.
Okay. Last, let's have Patty go next. Who did you vote for and why?
I am giving my vote to Lulu because I gave her a card a lot this season. And I was going to stick with my original alliance because we were supposed to be one-on-one, but it was too many lies from the beginning. So I'm going with Lulu because she played a really good game.
Which means, Lulu, congratulations. You are this season's winner, the winner of Access Fallout by a vote of 6-0 with one abstaining. You have won the season. Lulu, how does that feel?
Feels pretty good. Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Have you won an org before?
I have. I've won a
Yeah.
couple, but not since like 2021.
Awesome. Well, now
Yeah.
you're back in the saddle. All right. And with that, you'll also get the $50 prize. And so we'll discuss in your confessional afterwards then how to get that money to you. Okay. All right. With that, if there are any eliminated players, anyone from the cast that wants to jump into the Zoom call and we can get into the reunion here, feel free to jump in. We'll probably keep it a little bit on the shorter side since we are already starting later. And I know all of us want to get to sleep at some point today. So if there's any eliminated players, go ahead and jump in. Let me look through my notes. I'm going to skim through and we're just going to talk through the season a little bit. I'm going to skip over a bunch of stuff in order to cut stuff out. If you want to hear a more in-depth talk through of what happened this season, we're going to come out with a what really happened video for Access Fallout, where you'll get all the behind the scenes stuff. There's also episode recaps in the Discord server. So go ahead and join the Discord and to read those. Those will be available for everyone to see once we wrap up everything for the season here. This was already probably mentioned, but probably one of the biggest secrets of the season. One of the biggest secrets of the season was that Patty is Abby's mom and Rich's mother-in-law. However, the secret didn't stay secret all that long, as in the second round of the game, you guys bring Cake into an alliance with you all together, and you tell her about this. Patty, why do you tell Cake this big secret? You could have just had her part of the alliance. You didn't have to tell her.
It wasn't a secret, though. It never was. We played before. If they saw, I never thought it was a secret.
I guess that's fair. It
You know,
was public
everyone.
knowledge.
I mean, Rich and Abby played before as husband and wife. When I played that one season with Abby, we didn't tell anybody until the end. So
For being understanding
didn't-
this.
I didn't really think it was. I mean, I didn't consider it a big secret, and I didn't want it to be a big secret. You know, I just wanted to play like it was.
My life.
Yeah.
And I also knew that if we told Cake, that everybody would know, and it wouldn't have to be a, it wouldn't have to be a big thing. I know you like big reveals, so Brandon. So
No, that's fine. You're allowed to do whatever you want. So you told Cake anticipating that she would tell a bunch of people?
Yeah.
My God.
I'm gonna mute you, Lulu. Well, Cake actually never tells anyone. In fact,
No, but Rich did. Rich
yeah,
used it a lot from the
Rich
beginning.
Rich is the main one that tells people.
Mhm.
And especially in the third round, after there's a little scuffle about some dishes in the main chat, Rich ends up telling his non-toxic alliance about this, uh, which so Lulu and Doug were in on this, and then Lulu, you eventually leak this information to Hendy.
Yeah,
Do you want to say anything about that?
yeah, I have to go in just a minute, but yeah, I don't know. I trusted him, and also I was getting kind of annoyed because I felt like there was a larger group that was kind of dominating the game, and I was starting to feel a little bit left out.
Mhm.
Although I wouldn't necessarily say I regret it, but I guess in the end it didn't really matter because Rich, Doug, and I stayed pretty true to our alliance. But anyways, I gotta head out. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of this.
Okay. Good luck, you, Lulu. Thank you again. All right. Um, yeah, so that's how that all pretty much played out. Um, Another big factor of the season was the burns. And there were a lot. We had 14 burns. All of them ended up going out. And we'll do an in-depth analysis on the burns in the what really happened. Uh, but one of the big things that happened was that ZZ got the hidden access card and gave it to Ben. And then also, ZZ had gotten the final two pass in the first round and then ends up giving that to ZZ gets that in the first round. But then Cake asks ZZ for the final two pass and just gives it over to Cake, which is crazy. Cake, once again, just asking, can I have this really important thing? And gets it. Um, but then ZZ tries to use that as leverage against both of them in order to try to make them a target. Um, with that, why don't we just move over to Jason? Jason, if you're still around, um, do you want to explain what the blue team dynamic was actually like? Because I think you probably of everyone understand what was going on the best.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was a little bit in the middle. Now, obviously, I have a opinion or a biased view of that, but like I feel like I from day one, Elijah was my number one. Me and him hit it off right away, and we tried to keep that like kind of a little bit hidden. Elijah, ZZ, and myself were in an alliance day one, and we basically tried to run the game through that. They were off doing their own things. I was off doing my own things as well. Hendy and I bonded well during the one challenge. Did I like we were very close. He was probably a 1B compared to Elijah, if I had to save someone. I mean, interesting, like you could have noticed that during my trust rankings where I chose Elijah before Hendy when I wasn't there. So I found that very interesting that everyone was still thinking Hendy was my number one. So I didn't fully understand that and was kind of just, oh, let that ride. Like, if they're not going to think that Elijah and I are a thing, unless on the reciprocal side he wasn't that, then you know what? I felt pretty good. And at the end, we basically felt like we had to stay strong because it felt like none of you wanted to work with us. And it was true. Like, you all basically formed together and were anti-blue. So we weren't wrong, just wasn't much we could do. Probably the person I felt closest with in this game outside of blue was Aiden. And I felt like he was working with us, even though he did end up shredding Hendy. So, like, I think at the end of the day, we got put in the minority, and there was not much we could do after Patty stole my card, and then it was just downhill from there, or stole my shred power.
Yeah. Yeah. And the very interesting thing about that is the rewire power, which Patty got to take your shred power. Aiden got the burn for that. Uh, but the blue team was so close, I feel like at multiple points to really pulling Aiden over to your side. But Patty just kept overriding that time and time again. And actually, around that time, Hendy became Aiden's #1 ally in his trust rankings. But I think it was just too late. And if the blue team had gotten that rewire, boy, this whole game is totally different. Because Jason, I think that round you win the shred, you implode the Wicked Alliance. Rich probably goes there, to be honest, unless it's Abby or something like that. And this whole game blows wide open, and it's a whole different end game here. Um, Also, speaking of Rich getting eliminated, Rich, you got out at the first key ceremony, and that round prior. Hendy came to you asking, "Hey, can you put 2 shred marks on Tyler and then 1 on Hendy and 1 on Jason? Can the green team do that?" And Elijah came to you asking, "Actually, can you give me a shred mark so that I could be eligible for the envelope?" You were weighing back and forth. Do you stick with the plan that Hendy proposed, or do you try to help Elijah, who is your bro in the game? And you chose to stick with Hendy's plan. Why did you do that?
Well, I mean, I think at that point it was really early in the game, and I didn't want to kind of put myself in a position where I might, kind of align with the losing team, because I think Handy had also I also got the same shred from Doug, so whatever Handy had suggested had already told Doug, and Doug was telling the team. Um, the main reason why I end up voting that way was it was very early in the game, and I just didn't want to expose myself, even though I really liked Elijah and I really wanted to help him out. I think that it's really early in the game, and that can come back and bite me. And all they had to do,
Yeah,
because they know how the vote was, like I think 4-2-1 or whatever. If the vote then came out correctly, I mean, yeah. So do I regret it? I think it was just really too early in the game to make those choices, and um, I don't think it was worth it.
well, what you don't know is how this came back to bite you.
Mhm.
Because you voting for Jason gives Jason the envelope with 3 keys in it, and Jason is the reason you're eliminated in that key ceremony. If you had put your shred mark on Elijah, then according to everyone's trust list at the time, Hendy would have gotten the envelope with 3 keys. And in that case, Hendy had you higher than Patty on his trust list, and Patty would have been eliminated instead of you. One little shred mark is what almost ended your game right there. Um, what's your reaction to that?
I mean, I think it's what you guys did so well. I did not expect at all a key ceremony was that soon. So, and again, that's kind of played in the sense of not going all out for Elijah at that point, because I felt it was so early in the game, and if I expose myself now, it's too early. It might come back to haunt me. I did not expect that 3 keys were being given out, and this would all be So yes, you guys played. I mean, Access. You never know what to expect. That was a very good, a very nice kind of switcheroo, because the way I was playing the game and my mindset of how when it wasn't there. Um, I thought, yeah, yeah.
That makes sense. All right. To wrap this up, why don't we just ask one last question? Patty, um, multiple times you and Abby had chances to take Rich out. You had him dead to
Yeah.
rights, and you chose to save Cake at the beginning of the individual phase. Right before the key ceremony, you guys had him dead to rights over Jason, and you chose to keep him again. Why? And do you regret it?
Yeah, I do regret it because I think at the beginning, the first time, I didn't realize that Rich was coming downstairs talking game and lying to me, but he was. like I didn't mind it being in the game because that's fun, but I didn't like the coming to my face and trying to play me like an old lady. So that's something he'll have to live with. And I do feel really bad because Abby's like, well, let's not do it yet. I want it to be at my hands. And uh, well, if he's gonna if he's gonna play that way, if he's gonna be dishonest, then well, I have to. But when it came time when she could have saved Jason instead of Rich, I was texting her saying, oh, he'll just be so sad. I don't want him to be sad. Just save him. Just give him the card. And she did. And that's a big regret going on because we all know, we all play games with Rich. Well, you do. I do. Rich is an amazing person on the outside, but he's a terrible person playing games with because his attitude and arrogance and his frustration at wanting to have fun, winning above all, that's not the way I play. So so he's just so much more fun to tease because just see him get frustrated. I mean, Munchkin game's hilarious. The amount of times he looks for loopholes and tries to get us to, agree with him for rules that aren't there, so but it was fun. But it's funny because, I really wasn't interested in winning this game. I was just interested in having some fun. Was really hoping to make it to the jury. I really didn't have an ounce of wanting to have competition until you and Cam started talking me up and filling my head with visions of glory.
You were dominating the season, Patty. I mean, ZZ dominated the team phase, but then the individual phase, you pretty much dominated.
Yeah,
So,
which was weird because all I did was take burns and talk to people. So,
but that was the same game that Mac did, that Sam did, and you were following in their footsteps, almost even to the point of being self-sacrificial, but still making it through. So, you walked in the footsteps of grades.
yeah, that's good.
Being a
That's
great
good.
yourself.
Well, I think you're great too. So,
Oh,
and
thanks.
Cam, I think you're great too, even though we have a history.
Well, we learned this season after talking to the jury that the social game really is the decider here, and you
Yeah.
had a social game that was big. Just being able to talk to people
Mhm.
and keep that up. It's hard.
Thanks.
It's hard to do that, but that can be the decider.
Well, that's my favorite part about this game is it's how I got to know people before we moved where we moved, by talking to them at the games, how I got to know Maddie, how I got to know Laura. So it's a cool aspect of the game that well, I don't play these org games or whatever they're called online, but it's a really cool aspect to the game. So good job, creator Brandon.
Thanks. Yeah, and that final six is probably the biggest what if you guys take out Rich there, then Jason and Elijah. Rich was gonna not let Aiden go through. So Jason and Elijah makes the final six, and we have 2 blue, 2 green, 2 pink. Blue's probably in the middle, but Elijah was promising a final 3 deal with Abby. So who knows what happens at that point.
And I really do think Abby's gone through a lot this past 6 weeks. So, and I know that's why she feels bad. She didn't get to have as much fun because of everything she was dealing with. And that's why she loves the game. So I hope you guys don't stop. I think it's a cool thing. But I understand too. It's a lot of work. So maybe you can get an advertiser to fund your game.
Who knows what'll happen? Well, before we wrap up here, two last things. One, fun fact, Rich, you so at the beginning of the game, I like to pretend that everyone's name is on their access card and you're passing that along from one person to the next and you don't know whose name is on it. If we were to look at the access card that you and Lulu have at the end of the game, Rich, and take the piece of tape off and show the name on it, you have Abby's original access card. So you end the game with her original access card, and Lulu ends the game with her own access card. So I don't know if that's what you'd call a perfect game or what, but that's pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Last, before we wrap up here, I just want to, because we just have you two left, what does access meant for you two. I know you two have been a part of Access for a while now. I'm just curious, what has this been for you guys? Patty, if you want to go first.
Sure. I mean, for me, just I love the social aspect. It was really cool to get to know people that I would never known, that are from all over the world. It was really cool. It was cool to see the similarities that people had, and um, how you could talk to just about anybody, no matter what, where you're from on the globe, or what age you are. you
Yeah.
know, I mean, I thought for me, they didn't like, it was just fun to talk to the youngest player, and see what they're thinking about. So, and it's just a really fun game. It's really enjoyable. Yeah, there's some strategic things, and you can play really. Uh, uh, I love that we didn't let any of the, I'm going to say, meanness go too far. Like, it
Mhm.
was really well. Like, everybody kind of. I thought everybody, every player, like, as soon as somebody really started stepping out of line, they're like, no, thank you. We're,
Mhm.
you have to go, because we don't want that vibe here. So I really enjoyed that part, that we were like, yeah, let's be positive, as positive as we can be. So
Mhm.
that was
Yeah.
it.
Thanks for sharing
And
that.
I
Rich.
had the most fun I've had in a long time. So thanks, guys. I really have. So
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad. Rich, what about for you? What has Access been for you? What has it meant for you?
I mean, I think X really fun game. I think what I like the most about it is, y- especially being a gamer, there's no one thing. You have to be good at a lot of things. Like, I could be good at challenges, but if you're not good at being a social or socially, that can hurt you. So it's one of the things where it kind of forces you to a little bit interact with other players, have different skill sets. The challenges are so fun. I love it. Like, in terms of the games that we play, and um, trying to figure out loopholes. So it's very interactive. If anything, that's what I love the most about it. Is it's just the challenges, and then um, whether it's talking to teammates or whatever, trying to figure out the votes. But yeah, it always keeps you on your toes. Every time you think you have an idea of what things are going to go, I think you guys do a good job at throwing a curveball. Like, oh crap, I didn't see that coming. And playing it for a while, you realize, yeah, you should have saw that coming. But it's fun. It's just really fun. It's just very, you don't know what to expect, and yeah, for a
I
gamer.
have, sorry. I
No,
have one question for production, though.
Sure.
Can I ask? I just have this question about, Abby and I were on the same team. Was that
Mhm.
pure chance, or was that by design?
No, we had you guys picked at the beginning of the season a
Mm-hmm.
number which decided your team. We had already pre-randomized what each number was going to land you on what
Okay.
team. So that was the most fair way we felt that we could do it. So we didn't know what was going
Yeah,
to
I
happen
was
with
just
that.
curious, because I just curious about how those teams were decided. I knew it was the numbers, but I just thought, was there anything there that said, oh, okay. Okay.
No, and I was very curious, like, I think because you and Abby and Rich ended up on pink and green, that kind of brought your two alliances together. But then I was
Mhm.
also curious, how is Tyler going to do on the blue team? Because you guys have played with Tyler before, or at least you and Abby have, in the first season. Or no, Abby did in the first season. But anyways,
Abby did.
I
I
digress.
didn't even realize it was that Tyler.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people didn't realize you were that Patty. So,
Yeah.
uh, I also do want to ask Pete and Cam, what has Access been for you guys in helping me run this silly game? What has this been for you guys?
Yeah, so I started playing Access a couple seasons ago. I played 2 seasons, and it is just I like different games besides Survivor and Big Brother. First of all, it was like Survivor, first of all, is one of those games where if you want to get somebody out, all you got to do is team up on them, and unless they get lucky and find an idol, they're done for. Whereas, as we see in these games time and time again, everyone's like, "Oh, I want to target Patty," How do we do that? Well, we have to figure out who's going to give Patty an access card and shred them. Well, if Patty's smart, then Patty just has more than one person stack on her, and she's guaranteed safety. And like, unless you get sneaky with triangles or circles of passing around cards, like it's really hard to take out a threat, which means that you can play big games in here. A lot of times in Survivor, the people that make it to the end are the underdogs that didn't do much in the game, and the people that placed fourth, fifth, and sixth, they were the top dogs that should have won the game. And in this game, it's kind of the opposite. It's really hard to make it to the end as an underdog, because you have to actually be making moves. And when you throw in the whole final two pass and the key thing, now you're kind of incentivized to be at risk in those access ceremonies and trust people even more to save you in order to collect those keys and final two passes. Because time and time again, I mean, the first season I played, I got to the end and I didn't have a final two pass and I got eliminated. I thought I played a very, very strong game, but I couldn't actually sit there and plead my case to the jury. So that's just how this game works. And watching it play from the other side, when you're hosting, it doubles the fun, because you get to see what everything is going on. You get to add these twists and turns, like these burns. So it's creative and exciting, and you get to see how other people are having fun and who's getting duped this round and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and this burn twist was really Cam's idea. And it was a great twist idea. So thank you for that, Cam. Pete, what about for you? What has Access been for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like Access has been a launching point in a couple different ways. Access was my first org I ever played. After I had played it the first time or two, Cam came to me and said, "There's a whole bunch of other ones you can play." And I'm like, "This is a thing?" I'm like, "This isn't just a random like fever dream Brandon created one night when he was in the HR office." Like, so it was really cool to have this be my first org, and then from a production side, getting to see what the life of a production person's like. That led me to join other production teams for other different games. So it's been really cool to see what started out as something I played in a random basement to something I'm now going to host in my upstairs.
Yeah, and Pete, you're always hilarious. I just always remember going back to the cube challenge that we did that season, and your commentary for like an hour while you're trying to do this challenge, and at the end you're like, I don't even care about this challenge anyways, and just throw it.
I say, rumor has it I'm still working on the cube puzzle.
Yes. Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone in the cast, especially the final 12. All of you in the final 12 that made the individual phase had a shot of winning this game, and this could have gone any direction. But thank you to everyone on the cast. This was a great season of Access. Thank you to Cam, Pete, and Mac for all of your help in running this game. Thank you to those of you who are watching and following along with this season. If you want to know what happened in the game, again, join our Discord server. We have episode recaps, the trust rankings, Edgic. I didn't even know that was a thing until this season. We will also have a What Really Happened video that we'll probably be doing sometime soon, recapping everything in probably more detail than what's even in those episode recaps.
Wait, Fraley, peace of mind, because I thought this was a big turning point. I really, really would like to know what happened during the Aiden challenge, the vote. That's big. I think that was the big.
Who do you guys think were the 4 people that voted not for Aiden?
Yeah,
because Patty thought it was Lulu, I thought it was Aiden. It kind of broke the trust, and
yeah,
I'm like,
I don't know who. I know I voted for Aiden.
It sounds like you're assuming. Sounds like you're assuming the 3 blue voted against Aiden, which they did. So the real question is, who's that 4th vote? Who threw the shot across the bow that broke the Wicked Alliance, essentially?
Yeah, the Green Caesar.
It was not Lulu.
It was Doug. But Lulu was in on it, too.
Interesting. Okay.
Because they were totally content with the eliminated players gunning for Abby, and if that took out Abby, Aiden, or Patty, so be it. If it took out Rich, even, so be it. But like, it whittled down the other side and the family, so to speak.
Gotcha. I just need to know.
See, Rich, if you would have stayed with your original alliance.
No, I
You probably would.
I don't think
If
it
you
was.
didn't win the $50, we'd probably give you a cut.
No, but I thought it was something that was a shot in the dark. I don't think that it meant they would have betrayed us. I thought it was more like, okay, maybe we'll just put this here. But I was really curious because I for sure thought it was Aiden, just the way he just didn't want it. And I'm like, wait, it's Aiden. It has to be him. But okay,
If Aiden had won, he was going to give you the shred power, I'm pretty sure.
okay. I mean, I was just, I don't think, again, I don't think there's 3 blue teams that wouldn't have done it anyways. But I thought that kind of started the whole really not trusting thing and who did what and so on and so forth. And I didn't put a lot of thought into it, but I just wanted to know.
Okay. Any other burning questions before we wrap up?
Bye.
Okay. So yeah, if you want to know what happened, like questions like that, watch the What Really Happened video that's coming out, or go check out the episode recaps on the server. Again, feel free to support the game by purchasing merch. You can find the link to our website in the description below, accessthegame.weebly.com. Our next season is still to be determined, so if you like this, then let us know. We're doing this for fun, and we hope you enjoyed it. And with that, thank you again, everyone, and good